Hey guys, so we're gonna be talking with Joy Kelly about Tower Gardens, and we're gonna be talking with Joy Kelly about.
Okay, so you have to go out of your Facebook.
Got it.
Okay.
Sorry, I hit mute and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, so start over. So Joy Kelly is joining us tonight. She's going to talk to everyone about Tower Garden. She does own Chapala Gardens. Don't know if I said that right, but it's a urban aeroponic rooftop garden in Santa Barbara, California. And so she's also going to talk about how growing your own food helps improve your nutrition. So I'm going to hand it over to Joy and let her do her thing.
Thank you, Feather. Let me see if I can change my view here so I can see myself, because I just want to look at myself. That's like what I like to do. That's not true. I'm just trying to get this situated. Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. And I know that Feather and Amber are really trying to kick off March as nutrition, the nutrition month. And what we know is that people who grow their own fruits and vegetables eat more fruits and vegetables. I know that sounds intuitive, but I want that to sink into you. People that grow their own fruits and vegetables eat more fruits and vegetables, and it's especially true for children. And so if you have any kids or grandkids, please share that in the chat. Feather, if you can turn off the notification chimes, that would be great. I don't know if you know how to do that in your settings, but that would be helpful to not have all of those chimes happening. So if you have children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews that you care about, that you want to have eat more fruits and vegetables, you're going to want to listen to this information. So my name's Joy Kelly. I'm a Presidential Marketing Director Plus with the Juice Plus company. And share in the chat if you are with our company or if you're coming on as a guest. I'd love to know that. And Feather, if you can get those chimes shut off, I would really appreciate it, because I'm going to go crazy if you can't. So you should be able to do that underneath your settings. It should be pretty easy for you to do. Great. Awesome. So happy to have you guys sharing. That's so great. So great. So great. So great. So I have been with the Juice Plus Tower Garden Company since 1994 as a customer and 1995 as a partner. And what had me decide to join as a partner was I'm a fitness professional. I'm a biologist by education. I'm a fitness professional by background. I'm also a health coach with IIN. And, for me, I really got the value of Juice Plus as a customer. I saw that my clients were not eating the fruits and vegetables that they should be eating. And I saw that I had a way to help them. And I did not want to be a salesperson at all. That was like, I was totally not into that. But I also saw that if I learned to share effectively, that I could help people to change their health trajectory dramatically. And that's what happened with me with Juice Plus. So yeah, back in 1994, I was a customer. 95, I became a partner, and I learned how to share these life-giving products with other people. In 2010, our company bought the rights to Tower Garden. How many of you have a Tower Garden? Share that in the chat if you would. If you have a Tower Garden, share how many you have. I started out with 2. I was one of 30 national marketing directors that they asked to test market this product. And they asked us to buy 2 right away. So everybody that got involved, all 30 of us got 2 Tower Gardens. And I quickly bought 6. I was just like, oh my gosh, we need more of these. And so we got 6. And then I started reading books like The Vertical Farm by Dixon Despommier, which I really highly recommend that you read. End of Food by Mark Robb. Trying to remember End of Food. I can't remember the title, the author's name. Cadillac Desert by Mark Reisner. And I got really, 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 really enrolled in the mission of what Tower Gardens were. So I was already totally bought into Juice Plus. Totally had already become Presidential Marketing Director Plus with Juice Plus. But Tower Gardens, to me, I grew up as a daughter of a single mom. My mom had 5 kids. My dad left when my mom had 5 kids under the age of 9. My dad told my mom that he was going fishing and he never came home. And he left my mom, and she just became this badass, mom who was raising these kids. And one of the things that she did to have us be healthy was that she had a garden, and she was one of the original organic gardeners in the Midwest. And we grew all of our food. It's the only reason we probably survived. And I love doing that. And I grew food on my own as an adult, but I lived in different places, first of all, where we didn't have enough land, or I just couldn't make it work. And when we moved to Santa Barbara, if you know Santa Barbara, housing prices here are ridiculous. So we moved to a place near the beach without any yard at all. And I thought, we're going to start a rooftop, potted farm. We're going to have like pots that we grow food in. And we spent lots of money on that, and it was terrible. My husband was like, we grew the most expensive tomatoes that you've ever had. And so I just kind of gave up on the idea until Tower Gardens came out. And when Tower Gardens came out, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like such a solution for us. So we were able to start growing our own food on our rooftop. And that was such a game changer for us, guys. And my husband had never grown food before. He's from Canada. He grew up in the prairies, but they had never had a garden or anything like that. And so when he started growing the Tower Gardens, he just fell in love with them. He was just like, oh my gosh, this is so great. So we started a Tower Garden farm, partly because it was really fun, mostly because we could, and partly because we wanted to really show the world what could be done with growing your own produce. So we have a Tower Garden farm. I'll show you some pictures in a little bit, but you can go to chapalagardens.com. Feather wasn't quite sure how to say that, but it's Chapala, CHAPALA gardens.com. Our website is horrible. We're redoing it right now. We're in the middle of that, but you can see a little bit about what we're doing. We have an internship program with the University of California in Santa Barbara. So we're teaching environmental studies students how to grow this way. We do workshops. We have cooking demonstrations. I have a cooking show. You guys can go to my cooking show on YouTube. It's called Cook with Jake and Joy. And if you go to YouTube, just Cook with Jake and Joy, subscribe, share it with people. It's an all vegan, gluten-free show. And we do a lot of showing people how we grow with the Tower Gardens. But yeah, please go to our YouTube show. And I think you'll really like it. Not only is it really educational, Angela, you're laughing because you've watched it. It's hilarious. Do you want to say anything about that, Angela? Unmute yourself and share.
I just love the both of you together. It's just dynamic. It's unique. It's fun. It's fantastic.
It's mostly Jake making fun of me. but it is very educational. Like I said, it's all vegan, gluten-free, and it's simple recipes that people can follow. And we do a lot of showing how to use the produce off the Tower Gardens, and we do a lot of things that are on the Tower Gardens. So I'm going to go to my I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to go to a PowerPoint and just kind of, I think that there's some people here tonight that maybe don't know about Tower Gardens. So like, why would you want to be, growing with the Tower Garden? I kind of shared that a little bit. But what we want to share this month, this is March, Nutrition Month. Good health starts with good habits. So Tower Garden lets you grow your own nutrient-dense food without soil. Our home is ideal for growing with greens and herbs indoors. Flex is great for indoors or outdoors. But the biggest thing is that when you grow your own food, you are going to be eating more fruits and vegetables. And I don't know about you guys, but here in the States, the average head of lettuce has been touched 24 times before you bring it home. I just want you to let that sink in for a minute. That makes me go, ick. And you have no idea what went on that produce. When we first opened our farm back in 2011, we looked at becoming organically certified. And the list of things that we got that we could put on our produce was ginormous. And many of the things that we could put on our produce and still be certified organic necessitated my daughter wearing a hazmat suit and not letting our cats be on our roof for 48 hours or they would die. Okay, so I just I want that to sink into you, because people don't they think that they're buying organic produce and it's okay. You want to know what you're putting on your produce as much as possible. And I'm like really for that. So our motto is grow
Hey,
health.
Joy,
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you knew you're still on like the preview. You're
Oh,
not on
yeah.
full-
Thanks.
Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
I'm terrible. I am. So just so you know, you can be really successful in this business and just be a total dork about how to do anything. Is that better? Thank you.
Yep, it's perfect. You're doing great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Erin. And I am a total dork about technology. I am the worst person possible. I'm just like not my jam at all. But anyway, so our motto is grow healthy, be happy. But just if you don't know about Tower Gardens, you can grow plants 3 times faster than traditional gardening and with a 30% higher yield. And that's really, really awesome. Like I said, I grew up growing plants. So to be able to do that is amazing. This is my daughter and my stepdaughter. This is a yield that we used to take to the farmers market. It's now a yield that we take to nonprofits here in Santa Barbara. We are now a not-for-profit operation. Our first 2 years we grew commercially, and Jake was able to support herself out of college with an art degree, which all of you probably know how valuable that is. But she was able to support herself growing at the farm. And what's really cool about this, guys, you want to know is that somebody can buy a micro farm. They can buy 12 towers for about 500 to 700 if you're in Canada a month. And you can have a farm of your own and have a business like that. And that is crazy. That is crazy. So my daughter was able to come out of college and all of a sudden create a job for herself that paid her a living wage. She was able to pay herself back then $25 an hour, which is now probably $35 to $55 an hour. And she was able to do that just really simply, not having a big education in gardening. So we want to minimize your learning curve. You don't need to have a green thumb. We're only using water and we use nutrients rather than dirt, and we deliver those nutrients right to the plant. So people are going to save money right away. And that's the thing that I like to point out to people is that the Tower Garden is a cost negative product. I want you to write that down. It's a cost negative product, meaning that the consumer is paying less than they're benefiting. That is mind blowing. So the average customer is paying anywhere from $55 to $85 a month. 55 is for the Flex without any accoutrements in the US, okay? So I'm not giving Canadian prices right now. 85 if they use lights. And using lights adds a little bit to the cost of running it and to the cost of buying it. But the average consumer is saving in the first year, even though they're paying for it, they're saving on average $1,200 a year. And the second year, they're saving at least $2,500. So right now, like, I want you to write down everybody in your life that you would like to have save money on their grocery bill. It's huge. So this is Jake and me on our farm. We do our cooking show up here. We have workshops here. We invite people here. We do, have great photo shoots, etc. But it's a huge way to invite people into how can I eat more fruits and vegetables, right? Because that's what we want people to do. So eat smarter with the Tower Garden. 10% of the land, little as 2% of the water needed for growing in compared to traditional growing. It recycles all of the nutrients. And this is really big, you guys. So I got attracted to Tower Gardens because they were so simple and they were cute and I could do it where I lived. But then I started getting educated, and I got educated about the number one, me being able to control my food supply. But then I got educated about how I was not impacting the planet. So most gardening, even if you are best practices organic gardening, you are dumping what you're not using. It goes into the groundwater and it goes into our oceans, and it contributes to global warming. So because we're a closed system, we don't do that. So it's a much, much, much smaller CO2 footprint. And we also eliminate people having to go to the grocery store. We eliminate the need for pesticides and herbicides. We create healthier plants. Tower Gardens are good for your wallet, they're good for your brain, and they're good for our planet. So I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to have a Tower Garden. I don't care if you're growing in soil, adding a Tower Garden to what you're doing is a great, great, great system. We have two different systems. We have a home system and we have a flex system. Either one of them can be used indoors or outdoors. You don't need to worry about, which one do you need. Personally, we grow with the flex. All of our units are flex. The home unit is awesome and it can be used indoors or outdoors. If you're growing with the flex, share in the chat like what you love about it. If you're growing with the flex, share that in the chat as well. These are just the Canadian prices. So if you're in Canada, these are the prices that you'd be paying for those. So is Tower Garden only for the home? No, it's for healthy, happy families. If you buy a family garden pack, you're going to get 3 towers. And like I said, we started with 2, we went to 6. I think everybody needs 3 towers. My husband says this as well. I imagine that Tower Gardens will become like a refrigerator. So if any of you buy herbs, I buy herbs all the time. I want to put them in my salads because they make it much more nutritionally dense. If you buy them at the grocery store, most likely they turn to mush before you use them in the bottom of your refrigerator. So having them on my tower is awesome. I can just go out and clip them. I love having multiple Tower Gardens. So I do recommend that you have at least 1, but 3 is really great. The engaged community is the 12 Tower Gardens. It's perfect for schools, restaurants, nonprofits, other community organizations. I have many, many, many distributors on my team that have 12 Tower Gardens. Like I said, you can buy them for under $500, under $600 in the US. It's a little bit more in Canada. But if you want to start thinking about a sustainable business, and you're thinking about like, how can I do this? You might want to talk about a tower farm. And both my husband and my daughter are accredited commercial resellers of tower farms. So you can reach out to me and I can connect you with them, and they can help you get a quote on how can you have an actual farm. Which is amazing. So the Tower Garden family, 180 in the US, it's amazing. Up in Canada, it's only $211. Tower Garden community, $562 here in the States, $677 up in Canada. Here are two of my distributors, Sarah Shields and Shastin Diaz. These women went together. They each had, I think Sarah had 6 and Shastin had 3 or 4, and they bought 12 more. And what they did is they combined it all and they made this amazing business in Orange County. Their website is down right now, but it's ocmicrofarms.com. And they developed swag to go along with their stuff. Like they have t-shirts that say, it's about time, THYME, and let us be friends, LETTUS. Let's turn up the beat, BET. You know, they developed all this swag, but they also sell seedlings. They sell the produce. They do events. They have people that are coming to do workshops they charge for, but they also do eating events that people come out to. So they've created this whole environment, this whole business around them. And it's amazing that, like, I owned a health club, guys. I put my entire house on the line, like that, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to be able to create a business for under $600 a month, it's just a dream come true, a dream come true. So also we're working in the classroom. And if you're sharing in the classroom right now, share that in chat, please. The Green Bronx Machine has a curriculum that we're endorsing. We also have a free curriculum, but it's so great to be able to share the Tower Gardens in the classrooms. It's a great way to be able to teach kids about everything. And you know, when kids start to learn where their food comes from, number one, they eat more fresh produce, but number two, it calms them down. And this is what Stephen Ritz was able to discover in his in his development of his program. So check out greenbronxmachine.com. Check out what we're doing with classrooms. It's amazing. We also have so many tools available for our partners who want to share Tower Gardens with people. We have all these sales tools, all these growing tools, so many calls that are happening. It's really phenomenal. If you're coming to conference, please share that in the chat. We're going to be having not only a section on Tower Gardens, we're going to be on the main stage, and we will also have a huge presence in the exhibit hall. My daughter Jake and my husband Sandy will be working there. I'll be there popping in to help you figure out how can you use Tower Garden in your life to improve your health and to build a business if that's what you're interested in with. So I'm going to stop my share right now. We've got, I think, 5 minutes left, Feather, and I want to open it up to any questions that anybody has. So unmute yourself if you have a question, or raise your hand and we'll take your question.
You raise your hand. Uh-oh.
Hi.
Oh, hello. Can you see me? Oh.
I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay, good. I am Nella Miss Pearl. I have a community garden. So how's everybody doing?
Hi, we're good.
Okay, my question is there any vegetables that's too heavy to grow in the tower? That's one question. And the other question is, when do you change those nutrient packets or whatever you're growing them in? How long do they last before you have to change them?
Okay, so the first thing you're asking is, what can you not grow in the tower? You can't grow root vegetables, trees, or bushes. Now we do grow bunching onions, just so you know, we grow bunching green onions, but anything that's a root vegetable, we can't get out of it. Okay. So I recommend that everybody that's serious about growing with a Tower Garden get a meter sorry, it's dissolved. It's a dissolved. This is terrible that I'm not remembering the name of it, but shoot, you get it's a TDS meter, that total dissolved solvents, and you can get it at Amazon for about $15. So it's a TDS meter. And you can also get an EC meter, which is an electric conductivity meter. It's a little bit more expensive. The EC meter you can also get on Amazon. It's about $105, I believe. That's going to tell you exactly what the nutrient content of your water is. The TDS meter, you're going to have to calculate. And there is a total calculation on it, and you can look it up on the internet, and you can figure out what your total dissolved nutrients are. But just as a reference, every time you add a 5-gallon bucket to your tower, you're going to want to add a proportionate amount of nutrients, right? The only exception to that is, are you in a really hot environment? Are you growing really large vegetables? Is it really cold? Like right now, it's really cold and rainy in Santa Barbara. We're not adding any nutrients to what we're doing because they're not uptaking anything. Nothing's growing. It's really slow. So our growth is really slow. So in the summertime, and when you're growing tomatoes and things like that, you're going to have to add a lot more nutrients. So having a TDS meter or an EC meter is really, really, really helpful. And what was your other question?
Oh, shoot.
I think that was it.
I asked 2 questions.
You asked about how often do you have to add nutrients? And
Oh,
you
yeah,
asked,
yeah. What was too heavy?
yeah, and what was too heavy? Yes, I think I answered both those questions.
Okay, and next thing, now you all do a training to make sure that whomever buy one will know how to use it.
Say that again.
Is there training for the people who buy the
Yeah,
tower?
so tower gardens are so easy that my grandson, who's 2.5, can grow a tower garden. But
Okay.
yes, it does come with instructions. We have a Facebook group. We have so much support. I have a video of myself setting a tower garden up in a dress and high heels, just to show people like how ridiculously easy it is to grow with a tower and to set it up. Yeah, super
Okay.
easy.
This
Okay,
one
we've got 2 more minutes left. Is there anyone else who has a question? No?
No, she did have a question about the rock wool.
Who has a question about the rock wool?
I thought she had a question about rock wool.
I didn't
Well,
How
hear.
often you
She
change it.
she asked, how often do you change it?
Oh, every
said
time.
nutrient-
Rock wool, you have to use rock wool with every new crop. So you can't reuse the rock wool.
Okay. And when it's outside, it's out in the elements, or is it covered up?
The tower garden?
Is it just sitting in the yard, or is it covered? Is it under something?
Depends on where you are. So here in Santa Barbara, ours are on our rooftop, exposed to the elements all the time. And we've been getting a lot of rain this year. You guys probably know we're getting like massive flooding, but we don't do anything about that. People that grow in areas that are colder grow inside and they move them out. I have a distributor, I don't know if she's on tonight, Suzanne Daigle. She's got 6 of them in Manitoba, up way north. She grows year round and she keeps them inside for most of the year. I think she gets about, Angela, you can back me up on this. I think she's got about 2 months of outside growing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but the rest of the time she grows indoors. So it just really depends on where you're living. Yeah. Does that answer all of your questions?
One last question. Now, how do you keep it clean? You just wipe it off?
No, you got to clean it at least depends on your water source. So here in Santa Barbara, we have a really hard water. So we filter all of our water and we need to clean the towers because we filter it. We only need to clean them probably every 4 months.
That's good.
But if you've got hard water, so you're gonna see buildup on it. And you're gonna want to clean it every 3 to 6 months, depending on what kind of buildup you see. And that buildup is gonna be minerals from the tonic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
so it's a super simple gardening, but it does require a little bit of effort on your part. We estimate that the average tower gardener spends 15 minutes a week
15 minutes.
to be effective, But
Woo!
I will tell you that one of the biggest things that happens is people don't eat the produce off of it. That's number one. You need to eat the produce. Number two, don't grow everything all at one time. I recommend that you think of your tower in fourths so that you have a fourth of it growing all the time. So you're harvesting every week. And then, yes, definitely plan on when you're going to clean your tower out. And you don't have to get rid of the plants. You can just take them out, put them into a bucket, clean the tower out, and then put it back together.
Okay.
Yeah, just like you would. anything
Wonderful.
else. Yeah.
Joy, there's a question in the chat. What type of water? Tap water, hose, RO water?
So where we live, we use reverse osmosis water. Not a very efficient source, so I don't recommend that as in terms of, being water efficient. But our water is so hard here that we would be cleaning our towers every 6 weeks if we didn't do that. So wherever you live, plants are really great. Like they plant plants in areas that have been contaminated because the plants will actually they'll actually detoxify that soil. Okay, so plants are awesome at that. Plants are like, they're the whole reason that we're alive. You guys got to get that. And if you don't get that, I recommend that you read lots of books about plants because they are our very reason for existence. Is because they take the CO2 that we emit and produce it in oxygen. And that's the only reason that we can live on this planet. Is that they do that for us. So they're amazing. But, there are some things that we need to do to help them along. And I believe that one thing that we do is we filter the water for them. They can manage that totally, but I like to put the plants more to work to producing antioxidants that are going to help me be healthier. But yeah, so that's how we grow here in Santa Barbara. We use reverse osmosis water, but you don't need to do that. You can use tap water. It's completely fine. And if you live somewhere that doesn't have hard water like we do, you're even in a better situation. Yeah.
Hey, Joy, would you recommend at least getting some sort of filter though? Because usually most water sources are like really, like they got chlorine and all kinds of stuff.
So plants are designed to filter all of that out. There's no issue. You don't need to have a water filtration system. We only have it because our water is so hard in Santa Barbara and because we're a commercial operation. If I lived, like my tower here at home, we just fill from the tap because I just have one here at my house. So no one needs to filter their water. Plants are designed to filter out toxins. That's what's amazing about them. Like one of the things, Roy, if you guys aren't familiar with Ray Finlay, he's called the Gangster Gardener. He grows in South LA. And he says, growing your own food is like printing your own money. And he is teaching people in South LA to plant gardens in otherwise like super contaminated plots of land. The plants clean it up. Guys, plants they're amazing. They're amazing. We owe our life to plants. There's an amazing book, not the super hyped one called The Secret Life of Plants, but there is a secret language of plants that you want to read. I mean, if you're into tower gardens, get into tower gardens. Read Dixon Despommier's book, read Mark Roberts' book, read Mark Weisner's book. Get into it, like feed yourself with this information so that like I am, you can tell can you tell I'm a tower garden obsessed? You know, like I'm obsessed. Like when I start talking about it, like this is a calm version of me. You know, if you come to my farm and you hear me talk on my farm, I'm like kind of spitting because I'm so excited about what we're doing. And there is no greater mission in my mind than what we're doing. We're getting people to eat more fruits and vegetables. We're getting people to change the way we're growing food. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's amazing. And Jerry said that she leaves a 5-gallon bucket uncovered and then the chlorine evaporates. That's true. There's nothing wrong with chlorine. The plants need chlorine. So like chlorophyll is chlorine. So chlorophyll. So this is an interesting thing to say. And I know we're so over time, you guys. I'm just like, I just get too obsessed. But so chlorophyll is what makes plants green, right? It's at the heart of all green plants. And hemoglobin is what makes us have red blood cells. I mean, it's at the heart of our red blood cells. So chlorophyll is exactly like our blood, except that it has chlorine at the heart of it instead of iron. So when we eat greens, they instantly become part of who we are, just like this, like instantly. They instantly become who we are. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. There's nothing wrong with chlorine. But yeah, if you want to get it out of your plants, no worries. But plants, they like can clean up anything. You can put them in the worst landfill ever, and they're going to clean up that landfill. That's like God gave us these things, and they are amazing.
Wow, that is amazing. So we've got a couple people with hands raised. Are you good on time? I don't want to.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I totally geek out on this. Like it's terrible. I get so excited about talking about tower gardens and growing food.
Okay, well, Dr. David had his up first, so I'm going to let him ask his question.
Cool.
Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for everything tonight.
Hi.
My question for you is, what's the average life cycle for a plant in your tower garden?
Well, it depends on the plant, David. So, you know, arugulas grow really fast. Like you're going to put an arugula seed in and you're going to have arugula to eat in 2 weeks, right? I don't want to keep cutting arugula because I'm a snob. I just want to eat the first cutting. And so I'm going to get rid of it, but you can do whatever you want. Now, kale, on the other hand, like kale is going to grow and grow and grow and grow, and it's going to take a little bit longer. We leave kale until it starts to pop out of the pods. So that's your choice. Like how young do you want the produce to be? So lettuces and arugulas, I'm totally snobby about. I only want to eat the first cutting, and I want to eat them when they're pretty young. But they'll keep growing forever.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We get about 3 months out of mine. So
when
most
you
of the
say
time-
you need 3 months out of it, what do you mean? Which plants?
well, probably we mostly have all greens. So we're
Well,
just
lettuces
doing
are-
microgreens on the top, and then we've got
Yeah. So
kale
lettuces,
and different
different-
lettuces
yeah.
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
lettuces are going to be totally different from kale and chard. You know, lettuces you're going to get rid of right away and then plant new ones. Kale and chard, you can probably keep harvesting off of them for a long time until they just bust out of your tower.
Right.
Right? Cool. Good.
Awesome.
Glad
Thank
you're
you.
growing. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Who else?
We've got Julio and Nancy next.
Okay.
Hola, I'm Julio from Puerto
Julio.
Rico.
I
We
see you
met
have a lot of
you-
towers there. I love that.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
are you? Are you in Costa Rica?
No, Puerto Rico.
Oh,
Puerto Rico.
Rico. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like you, but in Spanish. I
Yeah.
can be talking about tower gardens 24/7 because I
Sí.
love them so much.
Yo puedo hablar en español también, y si es
Muy bien.
mejor.
Muy bien. I wanted to say that along everything we've learned and we know from tower gardens and growing, I always tell people that there are 3 key ingredients that are needed regardless of what we know or what we put in the water, right?
Yeah,
There's water, there is sun, and then tender loving care.
yes,
When I say
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You must let your plants know how much you love them. You must let them know how much you love and appreciate them. It's so key. It's so
Exactly.
key.
That's what I do. And when I say I mean my wife and I, because we go to these 4-tower gardens you see on our picture.
Yeah,
They're
beautiful.
they're in the top of my father-in-law's home at the roof. So
Yeah,
we have some in
beautiful.
his house, we have some in my parents' house, and then we have one in our apartment. So we're sort of having different experiences so we could keep learning from
Yeah,
the environment and the plants we grow. So
that's beautiful.
every
That's beautiful.
every
Love
everyone is
that.
having a different produce,
Yeah,
and then we share with people our produce. But
it's
again,
beautiful.
there's a book by Stephen Ritz
Yeah,
that is called The Power of a
power of a
Plant.
plant. Yep, power of plant.
That,
Everybody buy it. Everybody buy it. It's awesome.
that's the one that led me to say I'm a tower gardener for life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. Good job.
All right.
I'll
Next
see you.
we-
I'll see you
oh,
soon.
Yes.
Okay, I guess next we have Tammy. Tabitha was there, but she lowered her hand.
Okay.
So we'll go with Tammy.
Tammy, did you want to
I'm
share?
sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I had a question. You have mentioned a number of books and authors. Is there any way you could put those in chat or have somebody put those? I'd love to try to follow
If
up with
anybody
some of them.
wants to do that, that's great. I'm not doing that. So I'm sorry. So it's a Vertical Farm by Dixon Despommier, Cadillac Desert by Mark Reisner, End of Food by Eric Roberts. Those are the 3 that I recommended. And then the last guy that spoke recommended Stephen Ritz's book, Power of a Plant, which I highly recommend. So Feather, if you're a fast typer,
Thank you.
type that stuff in. But yeah, and then I also recommended the Lost Language of Plants, Secret Language of Plants, which is an amazing book. It's not the kind of pop culture one, but it's the more erudite scientific. I mean, here's the thing, guys, just whatever you're passionate about, learn about it, get educated, because then you're going to want to share it with people. And if you're excited about Juice Plus, there's so much information out there. Just get it, learn it, don't let not having that knowledge stop you from sharing with people. That's like the biggest thing, but just like fuel, like get excited about what you're doing, right? How many tower gardens would you recommend to a family of 4 to replace the grocery store? I would recommend 3 minimum. Yeah.
Awesome. And then we had a couple more up here. Let me get back up here. So Julianne asked, is there a particular tomato you recommend?
It depends on where you live. And I would
She's in North
recommend,
Florida.
yeah, I'd recommend most of you use determinate varieties. So indeterminate varieties grow and grow and grow. And we use those here because we can do that. We have a rooftop and we can let the vines grow and grow and grow. Most people live somewhere they need them to be compact. And so determinants are what you want to have. And you just need to experiment. We use Johnny's Seeds. That's our predominant place that we order seeds from. We also use High Mowing, which is an organic seed company. And we also use Barron's, which is they're a heirloom company. So you just experiment with what you like, but Johnny's is a really, it's a very steady place to order from.
Okay. And then,
JOHNNYS.
and then Cecilia said she has 2 extensions on her Flex, and she's wanting to know if when it's time to replace the pump, should she get the high capacity pump?
No, you don't need the high capacity if you've only got 2 extensions. If you only get 2 extension, if you're only at 7 high, if you're at 9 high, you need the higher capacity. But if you're at 7 high, the regular capacity is fine. So anything higher than 7, you need the higher capacity pump, and you'll probably need to order that. I don't know if they have that now on Juice Plus, they might, but you can get it on Amazon for, I think it's less than $50.
Okay, I just ordered the high capacity. I'll go
Do you have
ahead.
a 7? Do you have a 7 high or a 9
I have
high?
7 high, uh-huh.
Yeah, 7 high is fine. You don't need the high capacity.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
And then Joy asked about trimming the roots. Like, how often do you recommend trimming the roots?
We don't do that at all, but the biggest thing is that you just don't want the roots to get into the pump. But that is not a thing. I think that what happens for a lot of casual farmers, I mean, we have 40 towers. We're only operating 25 right now, so I shouldn't like be all full of myself. But when you're operating 25 towers, you're not worrying about what's happening with the roots. They're not getting into the pumps. You just don't want the roots to grow into the pumps. That's all. That's it. It's not otherwise it's not a thing.
And then someone asked, they say they live in a condo with a small patio and want to find a smaller scale tower. Hold on, I keep losing.
The home unit would be right for you.
Right.
So
Because
the
then
home unit, the home unit just takes up the space of an end table. So if you've got room for an end table, you have room for a tower garden.
Mhm.
If you don't have room for an end table, you need to build a Juice Plus business. Heather, I mean, you're living in a motorhome, right? And
yeah,
you
we
have
live in a fifth wheel.
and you have a tower garden, right?
Not currently, not because of space. Like, I could totally make room for it, and I absolutely would. Ours is our fifth wheel, the electrical part of it. Every available outlet is on one breaker. So if we add anything else to it, we're gonna have issues.
Okay, so Heather, you and I need to talk because you
Okay.
can pour water through the tower if you don't have power.
Oh.
Yeah, if you don't have power, it's okay. If you pour water through it every couple of hours, you're fine.
Huh.
Like we take our towers to shows where we don't have any power and we just pour water through the top of it.
Okay.
So Chris and Nikki lived, if you guys don't know who Chris and Nikki Cotton were, they lived in a motorhome for 3 years and they had their tower garden with them all the time. And, they put it outside when they were parked and they had it inside when they weren't. And you can grow a tower garden friggin' anywhere.
Yes, you can. Well, it looks like that's all the questions. So if no one else
Yay.
has any more questions, then we're gonna go ahead and call it a night and let Joy get back to her crazy schedule of life that I know she has. So do you still have the
Thank you,
grandbaby
Heather.
there?
Do I still have what?
Is Jameson still there, or?
No, I was up at Jameson's. I was
Oh,
taking
okay.
care of him. I'm home now, and then my son is getting married next week in Hawaii. So, yeah, so that's my next adventure. Yeah.
And I'm jealous of that. All right, guys. Well,
Heather, I'm so proud of you for putting
Thank
this
you.
event on, and thanks everybody for joining us. I'm so passionate about Tower Gardens. Just want everybody to have one, and well, 3 really, but
that is my goal. My goal is to have like 5.
yeah.
One of these days I will. So, well, like Joy said, thank you all so much for hopping on and spending a little bit of your evening with us. Thank you to Joy for doing this for us. I've enjoyed it. Always love hearing what she has to share about Tower Gardens. So, let me stop this recording.